Hello, what's going
Hey,
on?
what's up?
Welcome to BeatStars Academy. I am Jamil. I am joined today by Lee, and today we're going to be talking about BeatStars distribution. Yeah,
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
yeah. I can
Cool
hear
stuff.
you. Am I all good? Am I robotic again? Like I am.
No, you're all good, man. All good. That was a
Okay,
bit smooth
cool.
today.
That was a lot smoother. I was surprised by that, but I think we got this thing. We got this thing down. We got it.
Yes. So hopefully everyone's super excited about today's show. We're going to talk about distribution, the benefits of using it, and stuff like that. So that was one of the announcements that we had today. But the other announcement is about our Twitter Spaces. I'm not sure if many of you are aware of that. The new Twitter Spaces that we have for BeatStars. I think you've actually been on one of those shows, Jamil, right? I don't recall if you've been on one or
Yeah, I
not.
was on one. I've been on a couple. I was on one last week. That was fun.
Yeah, they're super cool shows. If you're not familiar with how it works, some of the BeatStars staff members go live on our Twitter channel, and it's just like some talking. People can join in, they can ask questions. Some of those shows are where we're talking about just some features on BeatStars, some marketing integrations, and just general information about the music community. And also sometimes I think we review some beats sometimes as well, which is super cool. So yeah, feel free to check in on those. I'm not sure when the next show is. I think they're every day, right?
Yeah, they're
If
every
I'm
day after BeatStars live.
Yeah, so there should be one after today. So definitely make sure you check into that. I can't get my words out today. Check into that one. So yeah, also we have, obviously, as usual with BeatStars Academy, we always like to announce this, but we have a quiz at the end of this show today. So make sure you stay tuned to the end. Oh, we've lost we've lost Jamil. It was going really well, and then we lost him. So he's just kicked himself out. But yeah, make sure you stick around to the end of the show today, where we have a quiz. It's all going to be based on distribution. There we are. It's all going to be based on distribution. We can't hear you. We've lost you. We've got a Dalek again. Let's see if we
My
we
bad.
can
I
hear.
wanted to be on the. Let's be honest. I'm just joking. I lost connection for a second. That's my fault.
I think you wanted to be on the right hand side, didn't you? That's what it was.
Yeah, I just like this side better. This is my good side.
So yeah, I was just telling everyone before you got chucked out was about the quiz at the end of the show. So make sure you stick around for that. It's going to be about distribution today, as always. So definitely stick around to the end, because obviously a lot of the answers to the questions that we're going to be asking in the quiz is going to be mentioned in today's show. So definitely stick around for that. I guess we can start talking about distribution then. So what is BeatStars distribution, huh?
Yeah, let's give a quick intro, Lee. Can you just describe really quick BeatStars distribution, what it is, and what you can do with it?
Yeah, so BeatStars is not a new service that we offer, but it's been around for, I think, about a year or so now. And yeah, it's a super cool. Anyone that is not too familiar with distribution just basically allows you to get your music out onto multiple different streaming platforms. So that's a service that we offer, called BeatStars Distribution, of course. Currently, we allow you to distribute to around about 40 different streaming platforms. Included in those are platforms like Spotify, quite the regular ones, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, and there's tons of them out there. There's tons of different ones which are really cool. You can check out a full list that we have, which is in our help section, our help articles that Jamil kindly created for us. So if you want to learn about all the stores that we distribute to, you can find that out there. It's a subscription service, and it's $19.99 per year, and you can distribute an unlimited amount of tracks, whether that's albums, singles, beat tapes, anything like that you want to distribute. Unlimited. So if you wanted to, you could drop a new single every day if you had that much content. Yes, we also offer Content ID. through our distribution service, which is cool. We're going to talk about that a little bit more in today's show as well. And yes, it's a super cool feature. I don't know why more producers and more creators are not utilizing this, because there's so many benefits to using distribution. Just as like an example, it just gives you a chance to get yourself out there, build new fans, build more engagement. Obviously, it's not made for selling beats, because I know sometimes people ask that question. You're not trying to promote your beats to sell. It's just a way of you promoting your brand and just to get yourself out there, basically. And obviously, more importantly, is to earn some additional revenue, which obviously you can through distribution. You can earn royalties for the streams that are paid out by each of the platforms, and those you will see. Not the first payment, but I think it's after the first 90 days, you will receive the first payment, and then thereafter that, it's every month. So, yeah, it's just a cool way to earn some additional revenue and just to get your music out there. So, yeah, I don't know if I missed anything. If there was anything you add, I'm sure you're going to find something to add to that.
For sure. Well, I think, what a good idea would just be kind of just go through the entire process. And just kind of show people what BeatStars distribution looks like if you're unfamiliar with it. And we can kind of go through like step by step all the different sections and features to submitting a release and what kind of goes into that.
Yep.
So let me go ahead and share my screen with you guys.
Are we going to do it from sign up, or since you've already signed up to it, we're just going to assume that people have already signed up? Yeah.
Yeah. So the sign up process, you just enter, your artist info, all of that, kind of good stuff. And then we're going to be going through actually submitting a release. Yeah. Because I've already signed up on my end. Okay. Cool. So music distribution is going to be available to you through your BeatStars studio. So at studio.beatstars.com, the same place where you'd run a promotion, where your publishing would be. This is where you would manage all of your releases. So in distribution, this is like the central area, the central location. We have different sections for your releases and for your collaborations. But yeah, then there's, your settings, where this is what you would kind of do upon sign up. You would enter your artist name, link your Spotify and your Apple Music account. Enter your label name. I've just done, Drake as an example here, kind of show you what this looks like.
Yeah.
But obviously you would enter your own unique artist name, enter your genre, enter your label name, all the stuff that usually goes into, Spotify, Apple Music, any streaming platform.
Just before we jump on, Jamil, I just want to mention this sign up process. Can you go back to that form? Because that's just under the settings, because this is quite important. So make sure that you are using a unique name, and it is not someone else's name like Drake or something like that, because that will cause you some problems. And also, some people, we get a lot of questions about the label name, and people the question is they ask if they officially need to be a label to submit through distribution, and that is not the case. So just to give you an example, you don't need to have an actual label. So I just use, I think it's something like Levi Beats Records. So you just make up a name, and that just basically means is that when it gets distributed to the distribution platforms or the streaming platforms, it will just come up with the label name. So you don't need to have an official label. You just need to make up some kind of label name. If you have one, then you can put that in there, but you don't need it for sure. So I just wanted
to we actually further clarify that, and like all these little, questions here that says, do I need to have a label? If you click on that, there's a drop down, explaining all of these things. If you don't have one, you just, make one up, and that could be your new label.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it doesn't need to be.
And the same thing with Spotify, Apple Music accounts. You don't need to have one. If you don't have one, when you submit a release, it'll create one for you. So that's kind of one of the other benefits of using.
And then once those releases are live on those platforms, you can then claim those profiles directly with those platforms. So if you want to get a verified profile, you can do so. You can request that directly through Spotify, and the same with the other platforms as well.
And I think we have links to the form or links to be able to, or the web page to be able to do that on our help desk. So, constantly be checking out our help desk for information regarding this. Always, making new things, trying to give you guys as much guidance as possible.
Sure.
All right, so let's go through releases. Might as well show you right now kind of my dashboard of releases right here, since we're already on it.
Got quite a few there. I'm interested to understand what that Levi the Goat one's all about.
Levi the Goat, that's actually a personal release. Has nothing to do with you. I'd rather not discuss it. No, just kidding. I believe I did that for one of these BeatStars lives. Cool. One of these academies showing people how to do it. I think you were there. Yeah. Anyways, so obviously these are all drafts I haven't finished. This is one that I actually published and released. And the one store that I did release through, we'll talk about today, was YouTube Content ID. Yep. Obviously, afterwards, you can update, add more. But, I think it would be better just to go through from the beginning. Let's just go through the entire process.
Yeah, let's just create a new release. Let's go.
So with BeatStars distribution, you can distribute a single or an album. The difference is that an album will have, obviously, an album. It's a lot of tracks. A single can have up to, I think, 3 or 4 tracks. Which one was it? I
think it's about 3 or 4. And then an albums is unlimited, I believe.
Right. Okay. So let's just kind of go through this. So you'll have your single title. The single title is the title for the whole single, and then you'll need to name your individual tracks afterwards. We'll talk about some of the requirements for those as we go along, but a single title is the name of your release of up to 3 tracks it'll be released under. Your single title must match at least one of the track titles within your single release. So this is the example of a single title. We'll see it up here in Spotify. This is what it'll look like. It'll say, it'll be a unique page. It'll say single, and then it'll have the name of your release. If you have a featured artist, that'll also be in the name of the track as well. We have some advice here for best practices for single album titles. Kind of, what might get you accepted, or some things that you could be doing wrong that might get you rejected. There's a lot of info there. I recommend you go look through all that. Maybe we'll revisit that if we have a little bit extra time. But let's just go through right now and let's name our single. What do you want to call our single?
Let's call it, since you called it Levi the Goat, why don't we call it Jam the Goat this time around, yeah?
Jam the Goat.
Jam the Goat,
all right.
Yeah.
I like that one. It has a nice ring to it. I don't know why I like it. I just do. Then you'll need to put a cover for your single. The dimensions of this must be 3,000 by 3,000. The reason for this is that this is the required size by a lot of these streaming platforms.
Yeah. Also, actually, just with the title, because you've got the in the title, the T in the needs to be capital as well. This is a requirement from the streaming platforms themselves. And I think it's just to make sure that the grammar's correct and it appears on their platforms correctly. And at the end of the day, you would want your releases to appear correctly anyway, so it just helps you in the long run.
Right, exactly. So we have some good examples and some bad examples. Yeah. You can't have any like copyrighted images, like images of famous people. You can't have curse words. These are all things that will get you rejected by some of the streaming services. Yeah,
you can't put your website on there and stuff like that. Yeah.
Cool. If that makes sense. Was there anything else you wanted to add, or is that good?
No, that's fine. Yeah, just make sure that the artwork doesn't contain any copyrighted stuff, like you said, and just to make sure that you've, if you're going to have any text on the actual artwork, make sure that it is the title of the release. You can also put I believe you can also put your artist name on there as well, but just make sure that if you're going to have any text on it, that it's got your release title in it. You can leave it blank if you want, but I wouldn't suggest doing that. I would just always put the release title in there, in my opinion.
Okay. After that, you're going to see C lines and P lines. These will usually be the same as your label. Yeah. But so the C line is represented by that C symbol that you'll see there on streaming platforms or in other places. The P is it's the P symbol, that one, just to kind of give you an example of what those are and kind of what those mean. You could
Those are
check
actually
those out.
filled out automatically for you once you've created your account. You don't need to fill that out. Those are created for you. So.
It just enters your label name. So this is my label, and then it just
Yeah.
enters 2021, the year of your release. Then it'll do that.
Yeah. So yeah.
If your tracks contain vocals and they have explicit lyrics, you'll need to mark it as explicit. As you'll often see on streaming platforms, you know, it'll either label tracks as explicit, non-explicit, you know, just to let people know what kind of, you know, lyrical content they're getting.
Yeah.
So mine is not going to be explicit because it doesn't have lyrics. It's not going to have lyrics. We're doing an instrumental today. Release date. We had a question about release dates on our Instagram Live. Yeah. So, you know, we have this little notice here. Setting your release date at least 1 week in the future increases your chances of getting added to playlists. You know, I think this is because this will give you know, playlisters a chance to see your stuff before it comes out. I'm not 100% sure how it works, but you know, that is a potential thing that can happen.
Yeah. If you're applying to be added to playlists as well, it also gives you a better chance, because I think you can apply to be added to some playlists as well. But I think there are playlisters on, you know, platforms like Spotify that go for the new music that's coming out as well. And I think that you know, you have a better chance if you release. And someone mentioned in the chat, Justine, he recommended 2 to 3 weeks, and yeah, that's generally a good mindset to have when it comes to releases. Obviously you can do it, you can set it for whatever time you want, but having a release in advance also just gives you a better chance to promote it. In my opinion, you can promote it on social media for free. You know, just let people know that it's coming out and give people a chance to get ready for it, and also as well, like, build some hype, which I think, you know, is really cool. You know, if people, you can also, like, you know, just share some snippets of the tracks that are coming out. So yeah, having it set around about 2 to 3 weeks in advance is something I would personally advise. You know, we're advising here that you can set it up to at least 1 week. If you know, you can set it to whenever you want, really. You know, you can go as far ahead in the future as you want to, but 2 to 3 weeks is a good average, in my opinion.
Yeah, you know, and this all kind of it all coincides, I should say, with your marketing.
Yeah,
you know, you should be stacking up releases, creating a marketing strategy. You know, we're big on marketing here at BeatStars and really maximizing your business. So, you know, always setting up future releases, promoting, hyping them up, letting people know it's coming out. It's kind of been a little bit of a trend sometimes, where some artists will just drop things out of nowhere. You'll see, like, on Twitter, they'll blow up. Yeah, that's one strategy. But more often than not, this is why artists will go and do, like, the rounds on talk shows, and they'll go do, like, you know, little interviews and make YouTube videos promoting the stuff before it comes out, because you want to have big results on release day. You want to have a big drop, because that's what's going to get you climbing up the charts. This is what's going to get ears on your music, eyeballs on your stuff. So creating like anticipation and creating like a buzz around a release date is really cool. So if you're saying, hey, I'm going to drop my release in 3 days, you're not really going to get the chance to build that hype and that anticipation of a release dropping. So that's why it's always good to just set as far ahead as you're comfortable with, in my opinion. Right. Also, quick shout out to DJ Fanatic answering questions.
I was just a shout out to him as well. Yeah, thank you, man. We really appreciate you answering some of those questions for us. Yeah, appreciate you.
DJ Fanatic is a trusted source by BeatStars Academy, guys. So
he is.
Anything that he's saying, take it, you know, as legit information. All right. So, you know, same kind of concept. Besides the release date, you can set a pre-order date. Yeah. This is for, like, you know, this is for platforms where you can actually purchase a release or purchase an album, like iTunes, for example. I'm correct in saying that, right?
Yeah, it's like a pre-save kind of thing. You know, it allows people to pre-order stuff before it actually officially drops. And then what happens, sorry, not pre-save, it is a pre-order. Pre-save is slightly different. You get that anyway. But pre-order is, like, for platforms like Amazon and iTunes, are platforms where you actually purchase the track to be, you know, so you can stream it anytime you want. So yeah, that's what that's for.
For sure. A UPC code. A UPC code is that like barcode that you'll see basically on the back of any of any product.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Digital products also have UPCs. So if you've had a history with this particular like release, I believe you may have a UPC code beforehand. If not, just leave this section blank. That's why it says optional, and a UPC will be created for you.
Yep. Universal product code. That's what it stands for.
Okay. Now it's time to set your genre. This is the fun part. So BeatStars will automatically populate your main artist genre here for you. So that's why mine says hip hop rap, because that's what I've indicated is my primary genre. Obviously, producers that kind of dabble in multiple genres can change this like release to release.
Yep.
I think Jam the Goat kind of sounds to me like a blues track, so I'll say it's blues.
It does actually, yeah.
And and it's going to be Chicago blues. I've never been to Chicago, but let's just say that. And it doesn't have a language because this is an instrumental, but obviously we have a bunch of languages to choose from here. We're going to leave it in English. And then this is where you'll set your featured artist and your additional artist. So what are the differences between these two things? Luckily, we have a little bit of information here for you. If you ever forget, we'll go through and describe it right now. Yep. So a featured artist would be an artist that provides, some additional component to the track, like a verse, but the track still is primarily by you or the main artist, right? So like a guest feature, you'll hear this a lot.
Yeah.
For example, on this track, Drake in Popstar, he is considered a featured artist. So that's why it says featured. Somebody, a co-collaborator would be an additional artist. So what that would look like, and the difference would be that it would list multiple artists. So like the song Mercy, that is a collaboration between Big Sean, Pusha T, 2 Chainz, Kanye. It's not so much of a feature as it is a collaboration. So those are the two differences.
Yeah, so you can add me as an additional artist on this one because I played the saxophone, right?
You're right. Yeah. So I'll add you as an additional artist. So the way this works, actually, this is a good idea. I wasn't going to do this, but it's true that, you can add BeatStars users or non-BeatStars users as additional artists to this. Yep. So you would just enter their name here. And there's another section within the track where you'd actually add them as, a
collaborator. An actual official collaborator, yeah.
This is by Levi Beats. It's 2 words, right? It's not 1 word?
No, it's 1 word. But it doesn't matter.
Oh, it's 1 word. Yeah. Come on, I'm trying to get this right. All right. And you are a co-producer of this.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go. You can add as many as you want, I believe. Or is there a limit? I don't remember.
I think you can add I'm not sure if there's a limit. I've never actually added too many to find out if there is a limit.
Would be weird if there was like 50 producers on one track. That would be a very interesting track. I'd love to hear what that sounds like.
Each one of them played the hi-hat, one hi-hat each.
Yeah. One hi-hat.
Yeah, so every time our hi-hat hits, that was a different producer.
And each rattling hi-hat it's like 4 different producers, and each one of those
exactly. Yeah.
That'd be great. Okay, cool. You guys, the BeatStars Academy family should actually consider doing a collab like that. That'd be fun.
They should. Yeah, all the ones that get featured on our playlist should, do a collab.
All right. So now it's time to set up our tracks.
Yep.
So that was our single. That's like the overlying thing. And now here's where we add our tracks to the single. So let's go ahead and add our audio file. I'll go ahead and put this one. I have a few already uploaded. That's a beautiful name right there too. Just random letters, but okay. So the title is going to auto-populate as the title of the single. You can change this if there's multiple tracks. Obviously, you can type in whatever you want. But one of them has to have the same name as the.
That's single. Exactly what I was going to say. So just to clarify, just for singles, you have to make sure that one of the tracks that you upload for your single that you're releasing with a single has the title of the actual release title, if that makes sense. If you're releasing an album, that it doesn't matter. You don't need that because it's an album, it's separate. So with a single, you just need to make sure that just to repeat myself, which I do quite often, you just need to make sure that the title of one of your tracks is the same as the release title. Hopefully that helps to make sense.
Yep. All right. Composer. Composer of the track is the, somebody who contributed to writing of the music or instrumental, like a producer, a beat maker. Viva Beats. ISRC. An ISRC is like an identifier for a recording. Every time if you distribute music, you'll have an ISRC. Obviously, we create one for you if you distribute through us. If you've previously distributed a release through another distributor, and then you take it down from that distributor, and you want to distribute it through BeatStars, you might already have an ISRC. So that's a situation where you may already have one. If you've never distributed this anywhere before, it's very unlikely, I think, that you'd have an ISRC. In that case, leave it blank and we'll create it for you.
The benefit of doing that as well, just to add, sorry to keep running, but the benefit of doing that is if you've built up a bunch of streams previously using another distributor, and then you've decided to come to BeatStars, then you will keep those streams. So that's super important if you want to keep that. If not, you can just re-release it again. And also the ISRC is what you would use if you was registering the song through your PRO as well. So, but as Jamil said, we will create one for you automatically.
Yep, and then there's the price. This is, if you're selling on iTunes, for example, or any one of those platforms that allows you to sell your music.
Yep.
Then you can change it to, I believe, there's these three options. I believe because these might be the only options on a place like iTunes. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, generally the prices are pretty fixed for those. Yeah, I think for albums, it's per track, so you're doing it per track.
Yeah. Okay, and then you have a chance to mark things as instrumental, obviously explicit if this has lyrics. If this is a cover song, you want to mark it as a cover song. And if you don't want to allow download rights, like, certain platforms like Spotify or Apple Music allow people to download tracks for offline use. If you want to restrict that, then you could check off no download rights. Cover song, I think everybody knows what a cover song is. It's a song that's when you're releasing a song that you didn't write. Obviously, to release a cover song, you must have permission from the original copyright owner. You can't just be covering songs and releasing them. So that's a unique situation. But if that is your situation, then mark cover song. Lyrical content is explicit, mark it explicit. And then mark it instrumental if it's a beat, because marking an instrumental is the only way to get content ID to be featured as an option.
Yep.
And that's very important. So today we're kind of going into content ID. So we're going to mark this as instrumental to give us that option. As of right now on BeatStars distribution, you can only YouTube content ID beats, nothing with vocals on it or lyrical content.
Yeah.
Okay. Featured artist, additional artist is the same thing. And this is where we'll add our collaborator. So since Levi is a co-collaborator, we'll go ahead and search for him on the BeatStars platform.
There we go.
And we'll go ahead and add him. He's going to get, we'll say 50% of the profit. And you get none of the publishing. None of it. I'm keeping it all. Usually it'll be 50-50 though, right?
Yeah, usually.
If it's like two people, you usually do it.
Yeah, I mean that's best practice, but it just depends. You have people have different, people have different setups with different eyes and different, collaborators.
Yeah, it's obviously it's unique to your situation. So just enter whatever your agreement is.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So now that we created a track, we can go ahead and add more. I'm just going to do one.
Okay.
And we'll go ahead and go to our next step. So now we see all of our stores here. You can go ahead and press select all stores to check all of them off. But we can just look through them, kind of talk about these, which ones, I want to see which ones you think are interestingly, which ones you like. I know that we talked about on the IG Live, just pressing them all because why not? But, there's certain ones that some people may not recognize depending on what country they're in. There's Anrami, I believe that's how you pronounce it. I know this was popular with some of my friends in the Middle East. That's one that they use. So you can kind of see how all these are kind of important. It's not just like the big ones that you usually hear about.
Yeah.
Here today we're gonna be talking about YouTube content ID. So I'm also gonna press that. Did we describe what YouTube content ID was? Yeah, I don't even think we did.
No, we haven't. We kind of started to describe how to distribute.
Now it's time. So go ahead and
I was going
describe
to
it
say
for everybody.
this is a good time to kind of go into that right now. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, of course, to benefit from using Content ID throughout distribution, Jamil already mentioned that you need to make sure that you're releasing an instrumental. It can't contain lyrical content. Otherwise, it won't give you that option. So you need to make sure that you tick the instrumental box. And then you also, so, and then once you've done that, you need to make sure, obviously, that you tick the YouTube content ID box as well. There is also, just so you don't get confused, there is also an option to select YouTube Music. Those two are different things. YouTube Music, if you scroll down, Jimmy, I think it shows. YouTube Music just allows you to get it put out, the release put out on YouTube. It's normally starts off with a topic channel. If you've got your own artist channel, then it should drop on that. It won't be distributed to your personal channel, but just a YouTube topic or like an artist channel. You can claim those channels, and I think you can link them with your personal channel, but you have to request that directly with YouTube. I think we have. I don't know if we have a help article on that, but maybe it's something we might need to look into.
If I'm not mistaken, also Facebook fingerprinting is also content ID too. It's also a form of content ID for Facebook and Instagram, right?
Yeah, and also you have TikTok because that is for. So with TikTok as well, I don't know if anyone's familiar with TikTok, but you have, I think, Instagram as well. Yeah, Instagram Music and TikTok. They have an option where you can select music to use in your uploads and your videos. So if someone uses your if someone uses your music in their video, then that platform, that social platform, whether it's YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, recognizes that music, and then you get royalties based on that, because obviously it's been pushed out on their videos, and they're getting views and plays on their videos. So yeah, that's how it kind of works. So yeah, there's multiple platforms that you can use Content ID on. Obviously, to utilize the YouTube Content ID, you need to make sure that you're submitting an instrumental only. So that's what we was kind of talking about. And I think most of the time that's what most people are interested in. And how YouTube Content ID works, I'm not overly familiar with it, but I think I have something here that kind of briefly talks about it. It's just basically a way for YouTube to recognize the content that's being utilized in other videos that's been put out on their platform. So for instance, I'll give you an example which might be able to help. So I've created a beat and I've distributed it through YouTube Content ID through BeatStars distribution, right? Jamil is a gamer, right? He loves gaming. So he's decided that he's going to upload a he's going to upload a gaming video to YouTube. However, in the background on the intro, before he actually starts playing, he's going to use that beat that I have distributed through BeatStars distribution. Hopefully everyone's following right now. And I've selected the Content ID box. Now what YouTube is going to do is going to flag that video and say, hey, you're using content from Levi Beats, BeatStars distribution, blah, 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 blah. And then I'm going to start earning royalties off of that video because it's recognized it under Content ID. And that's basically how it works. Hopefully that's helped to explain it. And hopefully I can see Jamil smiling. So I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
No, I wasn't smiling because of that. I was just like, man, Levi's doing a good job at explaining this.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. So that's basically how it works. And
yeah, it's a way. So all in all, what we want you guys to know is that it's a way for you to protect yourselves. It's a way for, it's a way to stop people from stealing, your work and making money off of it without you being involved and without you knowing about it.
Yeah.
The process, it's important that this process is like automated and automatic, that where YouTube can recognize this, because there's so much content being uploaded to YouTube every day that manually it would be impossible for you to watch every single video to see, like, I wonder if this guy's using my beats. So YouTube Content ID is just a way to protect yourself. Make sure that if anybody's using your work and there's money to be made, that you're making money for it.
Exactly. Yeah. So if someone's monetizing that video on YouTube, and they've downloaded a free beat, or they've got the beat from somewhere somehow, and they've used it in that video, and they're earning money off of it, you should have the rights of earning money off of it as well, because it's your content that's being used in that video. So that's what we're allowing our producers and members of our platform to do by utilizing this BeatStars distribution and selecting that simple YouTube content ID box. So yeah, that's basically what it does. Super cool. I recommend that anyone that's using distribution definitely utilizes that option for sure. Yeah.
Right. And just remember that, you know, these are for 100% original compositions.
Yes. Yeah, you need to make sure that this is your own material. You can't be using major label samples or anything like that. You can't be using anything of that kind. You need to make sure that you are, you know, it's original material, basically.
And for that, just to make it clear, that link that DJ Fanatic is asking people to message, it's support@beatstars.com. I know that sometimes links are blocked automatically. He's saying support@beatstars.com if you have any like really specific questions that you'll need to talk to support about.
Yeah, let me see if I can actually put it in. Maybe I can, but maybe.
But yeah, so at this stage, we can go ahead and just check off whatever stores we want. I'm gonna put Spotify. Okay. I'm gonna put Shazam. I'm gonna put Facebook.
You know, the one that I really like is AWA.
Oh, what is this one?
I think it's Japan.
Okay.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Obviously, you can go and search all these different platforms and find out where they are. You know, if there's a specific geolocation that you don't want to distribute to, I mean, that's entirely up to you. I wouldn't recommend, you know, not distributing to anywhere. I would recommend distributing to them all, personally, myself.
Yeah,
but, you know,
I'm gonna put all, and then there's an extra step for. Oh, sorry, I was talking over you. Go ahead.
No, it's just, you know, personal preference.
I'm gonna go ahead and uncheck SoundCloud just because it's an extra step that I haven't set up yet. But still, you know, upload to SoundCloud. Go ahead and do that sign in, do that extra step. I just don't want to do my sign in on the live. Anyways, we can go ahead and put next step, and then we can review everything. Make sure it's all correct. You know, all the stores that we want. We got YouTube content ID. We have a little thing here. How long is it going to take? You know, you can check those out. And yeah, that's it. And then you can go ahead and put distribute.
Yeah, I knew this was going to happen, and I was waiting to see it was going to happen. So I'm actually really glad that this happened. So because Jamil added me as an additional artist at the album level, so that was the first page, he also needs to add me as an additional artist on the track section, right? So just go back to the album section. So he's added, I'm actually glad this came up. So he's added me as an additional artist, which is at the bottom.
Right.
Leave beats. So now what he needs to do is go and edit the track, and that bit at the bottom where it said
I didn't put this.
He needs to add me there as well. So I'm glad this came up because this is a regular problem. So if you're adding an additional artist or a featured artist, please make sure that you also add them at the track level as well as the I would say release title level, because it can get a little bit confusing because you have singles and albums. But just please make sure they add them on both. It needs to be on at least one track, I believe. It doesn't need to be like a specific, well, whichever track that they're featured on, really.
Yeah, make sure you had the right track.
Yeah.
Also, I've never seen a betrayal like this. Levi, you set me up, man. You didn't even tell me. I skipped over the thing.
Well, to be fair,
you used me as an example, man. You used me as an. It's cool though. All is fair. I like it.
I wanted the error to come up because I wanted to show people exactly what will happen if it comes up, which is kind of why I kept quiet. Sorry, man.
It's all good. Okay, cool. I'm glad that we were able to have that little lesson. Okay.
Yeah.
I think we should be good now. Let's go ahead and distribute this.
So it takes some time.
Okay, so now once it's under review, you can talk about this process, Lee.
Yeah, so now it's under review. What happens then is it appears on our side on the back end, and then our QC team will go through the release, check to make sure that the artwork is okay, check to make sure that the titles match, We also have the option to listen to the track just to make sure that it's not breaching any copyrights, and we can. In fact, it actually flags up if it has. We have a system that allows it to do that, kind of similar to Content ID, and then basically the QC team decide if it is for approval or if it's rejected. Hopefully, you should get it approved, but mistakes happen. Sometimes you might just upload the wrong artwork that don't match, or
You might spell something wrong, you have a
misspell
typo or
something. Yeah,
something.
and
It
we're doing it for your favor, because obviously we want to make sure that your release gets released properly and it looks professional and stuff like that. So it's to your benefit, which is why we have the QC team. Then once it's approved, you will then see the status change from under review to published. Now, when it says published, what that means is that we've sent it to the stores for them to, make live. From that point, it is up to them to push that release live. In some cases, it can take a couple of days. I think in the majority of the main platforms, it takes a couple of days. As I think our section says, 24 to 72 hours. And then for some stores that are maybe not as popular, like the AWA one, it can take a little bit longer. But the main thing is you've got it on the major platforms first, which is like Spotify, Amazon, and Apple, and you can let everyone know about that. Without sounding too negative, if it is disapproved and rejected, you will get an email, and also you will be able to see the reason why. So if it's something like title or something like that, you can go and quickly change it, you can resubmit it, and then we can approve it for you. So pretty simple as that. And also as well, I don't know if you can hover over where the published one is. If you hover over on the right hand side, it gives you an option to do a couple of things. So you can review the release, you can manage the stores. So if you want to add another store, you can do so. So Jamil didn't upload to a SoundCloud on this one, I think. Yep. So you can request to upload to some of the stores that you didn't upload to. So for those of you that have already used distribution but have not uploaded to YouTube Content ID, as long as it's an instrumental, you should see that option show up. So you can go back in and submit those. Also, once the release is live, I think on some stores, you get a share link. It looks like Jamil did this quite a while ago, so I wasn't sure. I'm not sure if the share link's available, but if you hover over there, you normally get a share link. If you go over to the left, normally where it says manage stores, usually in the middle somewhere.
So I only put this one on YouTube Content ID at first. So that's probably why there was no share link yet.
Yeah. So if you distribute to some of the major platforms like Apple Music and iTunes and stuff like that, it will actually show a share link, so you can share that with your fans and followers and stuff like that, which is cool. You also actually do get an email from BeatStars Distribution to say congratulations on your release. Here is a pre-save link or pre-order link if you selected the pre-order option, and then you can share that link to everyone. And it's a really cool link. It's got your artwork on there. It's got all the different platforms that you can share. So yeah, it's really cool. So that means you can then go and share it on social media, stuff like that. Put the link in your bio, let everyone know that you've got a release drop in, which is why we recommend that you do it, a few weeks in advance. So yeah, so it's cool. We give you all of those options. Yep. And then what should happen is after your first release, after the first 90 days, you should start seeing some revenue come in, and that will appear in your BeatStars wallet, which is cool.
For sure. What we can do, is there anything else that, sorry, go ahead. I was going to say, is there anything else that we need to talk about, or should we do the quiz? Anything other last minute info?
No, I think we could probably run to the quiz. I think we've got 15 minutes left. So I think we can jump onto the quiz. Yeah, I don't think we've missed anything.
Okay, cool. For those of you unfamiliar, we do a quiz at the end of every episode of BeatStars Academy around the subject that we discussed for the day. All of the answers in the quiz today you will have learned throughout the show. And the prize for the top 3 placing competitors in the quiz is that one of your beats will get playlisted in our official BeatStars Academy All-Stars playlist. So let's go ahead and check out this quiz. I'm going to stop sharing my screen really quick.
Cool.
And I'm going to pull it up. Any quick questions that you wanted to just look over the chat for, Lee, while we get this set up?
Yeah, I'm just going to look. To be fair, DJ Fanatic has been doing a great job. He's answered a lot of questions, and some other people in the chat as well, like your usuals, Cloud9 and Buffo. So I appreciate you guys for doing that. There was a lot of information to provide today, so we just wanted to make sure that we could do that. So thank you to you guys for doing that for us. But I will see if there's anything that's been kind of missed, I guess. Someone says, what's the quiz link? We're going to show you that in a second. Someone says, if you already uploaded to YouTube, can you still put YouTube ID over it? Yes, as mentioned, the YouTube music and YouTube content ID is two separate things. So if you've already submitted a release, and as long as you selected the instrumental box, that's the main key, and you go into that manage stores section that Jamil just showed you there, you should be able to see content ID as an option. So, and then you can select it to release it through Content ID. See, Content ID is not actually an official store. It's just a way of you submitting into YouTube's Content ID program, basically.
Okay, let me go ahead and share the screen. So everybody, please get out another device, like a phone, and visit kahoot.it. You're going to be participating in the quiz on your phone, but you need to be watching BeatStars Academy to be able to see the questions. So kahoot.it, game pin is 512-6245. We're going to give everybody until 3:50 to get in, so another 4 minutes.
I just want to mention one question, one thing actually, because I just realized of a question that we have in this quiz, is that if you do add a collaborator, and they do not need to have a BeatStars distribution subscription. They can simply have a free account. As long as you add them as a collaborator, they will receive their percentage of the royalties. So I just wanted to clarify that. Because I think we said
that. Why are you giving away the questions, man?
I don't think we said that.
Did we not say that?
No, I don't recall us saying it. So I just wanted to give everyone a chance, man. You know?
Yeah, everybody gave. Yeah, you're right. See, this guy's too nice, man. I'm trying to make this quiz a little bit hard, create a little bit of competition.
We do have some difficult questions in there, but you need to make sure that you have been watching from the beginning of the show, of course. So, I'm seeing some regulars in here. I'm seeing some new ones. Shout out to all the new members, all the new members to BeatStars Academy, by the way. Thank you for joining today's show.
For sure. I might need to unplug my webcam. 1 second before we get started.
This is where we lose Jamil for a minute.
Yeah, my computer's gonna die, so I need to plug it in. Oof. All right.
So just a quick question to everyone in the chat. Anyone that's using BeatStars distribution already, put your thumbs up. So we can get a rough idea of how many of you are, using our super cool feature.
If anybody's going to start using it after today's show, let us know about that too.
Yeah. What emoji should we ask for that?
The heart eyes. Do the heart.
Okay,
eyes.
Yeah. So if you're going to use distribution after today, use the heart, and then if you're using distribution already, use the thumbs up. Oh, we got some people that signed up this morning.
Yeah. Another
That's cool
minute.
Stuff.
We'll go ahead and get started. Yeah, this is the most people we've ever had watching BeatStars Academy. So I was expecting. So I was kind of expecting.
Appreciate everyone that tuned in.
Yeah, appreciate everybody, all the new faces. We do this every 2 weeks. So
yeah,
everyone to know of what's going on BeatStars. Join us.
Yes. Probably give it another minute, and then we could probably start. If you've not joined yet, and we start the quiz, you can join at any time. Just make sure you go to www.kahoot.it, put in a game pin, or you can join with the app. We recommend that you do it on 2 devices, like, you know, have your computer open or wherever you're streaming this, and then have a different device to play the game.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and do it.
Let's go.
Quiz is starting. Remember, the quicker you answer, the more points you get. Select the corresponding color of the correct answer.
Yep.
What is BeatStars distribution?
Do
you get your content on streaming platforms for $19.99 a year? Is it to sell beats on BeatStars? Is it access to a BeatStars Pro page? Or is it to receive pub admin royalties? You have a minute to answer. As soon as everybody gets their answers in, we'll see the results.
Yep.
If you get behind, there's 5 questions. If you get behind early, do not fret. The last question is double points. So you always see people jumping in at the last minute.
Yeah. It's anyone's game, really.
And we don't hate the regulars. We just love seeing people. We just love seeing new people too.
Yeah, I mean, we love everyone that joins, whether they're regulars or new people. We love everyone that joins. We're just happy to see people join our show, you know, because, you know, me and Jamil, you know, we give out good information every couple of weeks, and we want to make sure that you guys take advantage of that.
There we go. Okay, cool. We got some pretty good results for this one. Yeah, BeatStars distribution is to get your content on streaming platforms for $19.99 a year. We would have written a lot more, but there is a character limit. So there's a lot more to it than that. Everything we talked about today, that is BeatStars distribution.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see who's on the leaderboard so far. Okay. Segway Maserati, Codzin, Justine, X-Rain, and
that boy Bata.
Really close too. You almost, I think so. 1,000 is full points if you answer right when the question goes up. So
yeah,
it's very quick. I'm very impressed.
Just goes to show you how quickly these people are answering. Yeah.
So true or false? Content ID is available with BeatStars distribution.
I'm not sure about this one.
This quiz is overall kind of a layup. There's been harder ones, but I still think it's good. We want to make sure everybody understands what we talked about today.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you're just joining us, visit us at kahoot.it, and the game pin is at the bottom of the screen there.
Yep.
You could still join and you can still win.
Game pin is 5126245.
Yeah, and as B4P Media is saying, you can always rewatch these. They're available on Twitch, YouTube, wherever you find your BeatStars content.
Yep. Thanks for the reminder.
Oh, there's over 35 people in now.
Wow.
There we go. Yeah, it's available. BeatStars, that's what the whole episode was about.
Yeah. Pretty much. We spoke about this quite a lot in today's show. So yeah, content ID is available with BeatStars distribution. Yep. True.
All right. Let's see where we're at now. Ooh, Bellringer jumped up 6 places. Oh, but he's still not in the top 5. All right, cool. We're doing it. We're doing it. We got a couple new people that joined the top. See how much this can change just within a couple of seconds. Answering a couple seconds quicker can bump you up into that top 5. Top 3 are getting playlisted.
Yep.
Next question. How many releases can you distribute with BeatStars distribution? Is it 1,000 a year? Is it 10 a month? Is it unlimited, or is it 1 a week?
1 a week, yeah.
Who's coming for the dub? Who's going to pull off an MVP type performance? Are we going to have somebody come from behind? Are we going to have that classic, 3-1 situation where somebody looks down and out for the count and then comes back in and grabs it at the last second?
Well, I think we had that last week, did we not? Someone came.
We did, yeah, we did. I like seeing that.
Yeah, double points.
Are we gonna have Ben Simmons missing all those free throws and fumbling the bag for his team? Sorry to any Sixers fans. I had to bring that up. Levi has no idea what I'm talking about. He doesn't. He doesn't
No,
watch NBA.
as soon as you mentioned Sixers, I had a bit of a better idea about before that. I didn't know.
Oh shoot! It's okay. I didn't realize that the question was over. Yeah, it's unlimited releases. 1,000 a year would be a very random number, but yeah, it's unlimited. It's like distribute as many releases as you want to all of the stores.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see where we're at now.
Oh, that boy Butters just jumped.
See, he was right. He said they call me Butter because I'm on a roll. I mean, see, I don't know where you guys come up with these puns. Bufo is great at the puns too.
Yeah.
It's you guys are doing great here. All right, so we got the top 3 right now: Dat Boy Butter, Justine, and X-Rain. We got 2 questions left. Remember, last question is double points. So
yes,
if you feel like you're far behind, don't give up.
Still to play for. Yep.
True or false? YouTube Content ID protects producers and makes you more money.
Yeah, someone said there's sometimes a delay. It's possible. Yeah, we apologize about that. It should be okay. Sometimes there might be a slight delay.
On Twitch and YouTube, between Twitch, YouTube, all different. If you're watching on a different platform, it might be a second or 2 behind. I think most people are on Twitch right now. Check us out on Twitch. That's probably where you're going to get it the quickest in. If you're on YouTube, you might be a second behind or so.
Yeah, agreed.
And that's just, that's just something that happens. It's not really anything that we can control.
Yeah, unfortunately. That's why we give you a minute to answer.
Okay. Yep. That is true. It protects you from anybody monetizing your beat and making money off of your content without you knowing about it. And it makes you money because you're earning royalties for your plays.
Yep. Oh.
Okay, we got a little bit more movement. See this 3 through 5 spot. There's a lot of movement here.
Yeah, it's good.
And you know what? Like Dat Boy Butter and Justine are not that far ahead. No. It's only about 100 points, and 100 points is a matter of a couple of seconds. So. This double points is going to make a big difference. Let's see who ends up being the top 3.
George Life has just dropped the hammer down. He just says, "I'm coming."
What percentage does BeatStars take from distribution? Do we take 10%? Do we take 15%? Do we get 5%? Or 0? You keep 100% of earnings. This image might be a good illustration. I don't really know if this helps. We just thought it was funny.
Yeah. Daily double. Exactly, Buffo.
Dat Boy Butter put down the Tim. He's like, this is serious business. Couple more people need to answer, I believe.
This could actually be a record amount of participants. I can't remember the last 2 that we did. But yeah, I think this could be a record. So well done, everyone, for joining.
Dat Boy Butter, are you going to have a situation where you're like KD, you have the toe on the line? Let's find out. Yeah, it's you keep 100% of your earning with BeatStars distribution.
Exactly, yeah. So you keep 100%. All the revenue that you earn for distribution is yours, basically.
Let's go. Let's see the winners. The podium.
Let's go. And drum
third
roll.
place with 5,708 points. Peter FK.
Hey, that boy.
He didn't have his toe on the line. Justine. Wow, look at the difference between first and second place. But yeah, first through third, you guys have earned a spot on the BeatStars Academy All-Stars playlist. Make sure you pin a beat to your profile or or do a repost so we know which beat to add to the playlist. If your name is anything different than what your name appears here, please let us know in the comment what your BeatStars username is. Otherwise, we're going to be doing a search for these usernames.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we can stop sharing our screen. Any last minute comments, Levi, before we hop off for the day?
Let's have a look. Let's see if we've got anything. Does anyone have anything that they want to ask before we disappear? Make sure you tune into our Spaces on Twitter. I forgot what it was called.
Yeah, I think we have Twitter Spaces.
Twitter. Make sure you tune into that after the show. I think today is also about distribution. I've not actually had a look. I need to double check that and make sure that I'm getting that right.
But yeah, appreciate everybody for joining in today. Hope you learned a lot about BeatStars distribution.
Yep.
Hope you are excited to try it out, get started using it. Again, getting your music on streaming platforms is really key for building an audience base. And, using Content ID is going to be, it could be a game changer for protecting yourself, protecting your art, and, just finding additional revenue streams where, you would have never known about before. So Again, appreciate everybody. Thank you, Levi, for joining us today on the show. Appreciate you as well. And we're going to continue to be around for you guys. We have a webinar tomorrow that you can sign up for on beatstars.world. We're going to talk more about this. We're going to have Kyle on there from the Protect Your Art show.
Yeah.
And Aaron and Jasmine, I believe, will also be on there with me. So that's going to be cool. So we'll see you guys later on the next episode of BeatStars Academy. And peace out.
Peace out, everyone. Thanks, everyone, for joining.